Welcome to A Course in Miracles. Now, as I was telling Robert out in this parking lot, and I was just talking to Marcia now, and as we said last week, hang in there. Course in Miracles is hitting us with a lot of negative messages. We're doing the special relationship.
Okay.
So, a lot of negative messages about what we think love is, where we're going to get happiness, and he just keeps coming at us because, you know, we're so deeply, we desire happiness here. We deny his love, love, love.
I'm not in love. I'm so happy.
Yeah. Free.
I just realized it. I was breathing and breathing and breathing.
Yeah.
And I realized I was breathing because I'm not in love anymore.
Yeah, what if you knew that it was a small L love?
Special love.
A special love, right?
Yeah, it's a special relationship that I'm not loving.
Yeah, if you knew what it was, we call it special love. What if you knew that the promises of happiness and the promises of love were what, you know, were small L, temporary, not ultimately fulfilling, you can't actually keep it, that they have the qualities of fantasy. You know, fantasies have qualities. Aren't there good sides and there's bad sides? But nonetheless, you don't get to keep them. That's what makes it a fantasy, or an illusion, or a lie.
And when you have to let them go, there's always grief right after that.
And then you got to let it go. And if you, and now, then the grief comes right after it, flavors it with grief, loss, sometimes attack, hate. Sometimes the grief lasts longer than the whole relationship did.
You're going to have to erase that part, so maybe want to make a note on
Yeah,
the time.
right. Got it. So imagine if you knew that it was a fantasy called love. It's okay to have fantasies. It's okay to go out and watch the movies. It's okay to play any game whatsoever. But knowing that it's a game, I think there are two huge benefits. One is, even though there appears to be a loser, it's a loser of a game. Not of truth, not of reality, not of something that matters.
The game show.
And the other is that it does not define reality for you. Course is spending a lot of time on our ideas of what love is because they're defining what we want. When we say you want love, you want happiness, you want two people to come together, or with your job or your car even, and it doesn't matter. These special relationships go beyond just that one significant other person. They're anything you want here. Here being the world. Here being you in a body. So what Course in Miracles is trying to do with these negative messages that we're getting again and again and again is to snap you out of it. Break away this circular thought that if I just try harder, it will be better. Now, it can be better, a lot better. The same relationship. We just need to see it for what it actually is. Instead of trying to make it something it's not, you'll always fail trying to find the truth here. Here in the world, here in a body, here in time. You will always succeed in finding the truth in here, inside you. And now, wherever you go, whatever you do, special relationship, not special relationship, you decide to become the best criminal the world has ever seen and break all the laws. Or heal all the hurts until your last breath. When you understand that the truth, happiness, is inside you and not outside, you're free to do whatever you like. The entire continuum now is your playground. Be it for good or for evil, it actually doesn't matter. Because the atonement is that recognition, that understanding. You're free on the inside. And you're not ever free on the outside, and neither is anybody else. Yeah? Okay, Jason. Perfect timing.
I'm perfect.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a picture of perfection.
Messed up.
10 demerits for being late.
Thank you for stopping.
That's what the ego said. So much for being so.
Yeah.
Well, I had a massage.
Not ever respecting.
So let's just take a minute to reflect on that simple thought. Let's take a minute to collect your thoughts. Yeah. And then toss them out. Put them all aside. And just think for a moment where your happiness is. And we've just discussed, you can argue with it in a minute. Your happiness is going to be found every single time inside you, and it comes instantly when you allow it. And we have lots of tools and ways and things and pages to read to help you allow that, indeed. But just for a moment, try that thought. That your happiness, your maximum experience of happiness, is waiting inside of you, fully loaded, fully ready, for your experience of it. It's waiting. Inside, not outside. Let's just sit for a minute with that thought. We try to find outside what is waiting inside. We try to find over there what is already here. We occasionally experience a little of what is infinitely big. you seem to be willing to wait for something that only occurs in the now. You're never happy tomorrow. And finally, all the happiness you've ever experienced and all the happiness you will ever experience is waiting inside you to be opened like a present, unwrapped and enjoyed. All of it. And more than you can imagine. Share with me in this silent prayer that you may choose to afford your own happiness.
God said, I didn't like.
Yes. And God always gets what He wants.
And I bring in some of my own.
Yeah. And you channeled it. Jason, will you crank up that light behind you for a chance? Lisa, lights. So it's a very simple truth. The Course says over and over. And what he's trying to wake us up to now is that you're searching for love in all the wrong places, and you're really busy at it. That's why he keeps getting us again and again on this. Trying to get these subtle ways of these false promises. The good news is once you release looking the wrong direction, when you turn away from the darkness, everything else seems like it's light. That's where we're going. As we start to wrap ourselves around the holy relationship. You don't have to change your relationships to have a holy relationship. You change your mind freely. Now, we can't do this with a memorized phrase out of the book. We have to work our way to actually choosing the freedom. Like choosing to access that happiness, I said, that's bundled up inside you. All the happiness you will ever have the rest of your existence. Which is forever.
Just waiting to be unwrapped.
Yeah.
Waiting for Christmas.
Yeah.
Is it possible to trigger that consciously?
Yes, absolutely.
How about unconscious?
Well, unconscious, that's an entire debate on itself.
Well, I'm say without any kind of a prelude, without any kind of a
yes, okay. Yes, indeed. If you simply go perfectly still, you will find happiness arising because it's your true nature. So yes, in that way, you will find it in your unconscious. If you stop being conscious for a moment, you'll be surrounded by it. It's the effort. It's the goal of meditation. A lot of people sitting still. God, whatever I've been thinking of all my life, can't be better than nothing. I can just go quiet. That's better than anything. Every thought I ever. And the meditator goes up on the hill. He's got his little bowl and he's got his 30 days off of work in a cave. He says, "I'm all the way to India now, so I can do nothing."
What's the difference between conscious and separate?
Yeah. So these are terms that are not in A Course in Miracles. The term consciousness is in A Course in Miracles. But subconscious is a term out of psychology. We'll just leave it.
So when we're sleeping,
Yes.
we're sleeping and dreaming,
Yes?
so we're still unconscious?
Well, in the terms of the body, sleeping, and the Course says, how do you know that when you wake up from a unconscious dream into a waking dream, you haven't simply gone from one dream state to another dream state? They seem so real. The dreams you have at night, to get your heart going, you can wake up sweating, you could even remember them. Dramatic. Yeah.
Instead of hoping to be that happy in a dream, if you was in a dream meeting.
Yeah, well, you've been happy. Absolutely happy in dreams, yes? No? Have you ever?
Instead of saying,
Oh, sometimes I wake up ecstatic in my dreams. I have fun. I would stay in that dream forever. So free and floating. I'd fly dreams, or I have invention dreams, all sorts of wild, fun dreams.
yeah, I had that as a teenager. I think
Yeah.
the dreams are now a reflection of what your mind is
Ah,
doing in reality.
Yeah.
Because they got definitely better.
Okay. Look at page 42, paragraph 2. In the text.
We're certainly making an effort to stay in the dream,
Yes.
whereas there's no effort to wake up and you're letting go of the effort. That's why you say meditation.
Yeah.
You stop trying
Yeah.
to stay in the dream or,
Yes.
or whatever
Yes.
and let it go. Then
Yes.
there you are in truth, right?
Yes. Isn't that a funny journey?
Yeah.
Meditation is trying to not try.
Yeah.
Trying
yeah.
to not
Try.
do something. Isn't there something twisted about that?
It's
No,
still
you gotta
something
you
that-
gotta really try hard to have no thoughts. That's right. That's right. Because the habit is so many thoughts you could never count them.
Right.
The meditator knows that. The spiritual seeker knows that. The monkey mind, we call it, is so busy blocking out simplicity, joy, receptivity of spirit, anything simple. That's right. That's right. Yeah, we're going from a very, very busy state here. So, sure, meditation is a great way to try to touch the simplicity. Yeah. You know, a section in the text says, I need do nothing. You really do need to do nothing and get started right away.
I mean, that's the thing, we're training ourselves to stop trying.
Yeah. Yes. Now, if you're trying to stop something that's
That's
valuable or real,
still a big problem.
that's hard. That's hard. If you're trying to stop something that you know is not valuable, not wanted, does not serve you, you're on a very good path.
Like really not wanting the special relationship and wanting to let go of it.
Exactly what we're studying. Because the special relationship has these wonderful promises of comfort and soulmates and security and family. All these wonderful ideas. So, when A Course in Miracles says,
It doesn't go with
that doesn't, yeah, you're making a choice that will hurt you. There's a little fight in there. An average person, the ego, wants to fight because they still have this dream of happiness through the specialness.
You mentioned something before about multiplicity of happy dreams, one pile on top of another. You're way ahead of where I am. The last thing I say with Lemire and I before we go to sleep is, let's be honored with at least one happy dream. That happens to be a marker that we're working not just with the ego all the time, with all the confusion and the being lost and all the other crap that goes with dreams.
Uh-huh.
The happy dream is, at least where I am, I have them, but not very often, and I don't remember having more than one in a night.
Mm-hmm. Now let's switch to Course in Miracles terms for a moment. How many happy dreams are there? One. Ochi. Wow. Okay, you can go.
You can go.
You're enlightened for a night. There's, in Course in Miracles terms, there's one happy dream, and it's very specific. Sure, on your path, as you're working it, you might have happy dreams, pleasant thoughts, loving thoughts, charitable ideas, etc., that seem happy in the world. But in Course in Miracles terms, there's only one happy dream. And it affects everything. Do you know what it is? The one happy dream, as described in this book.
All connected.
The oneness.
Yeah, it's the wake up. The happy dream is that moment
When there's no, you don't feel separation.
when you look out, not seeing with your eyes anymore, even for a moment,
Even person.
but seeing with what it calls, with the help of the Holy Spirit, what calls Christ vision, which is simply vision of one. That, from that perspective, competition is over, guilt is over. You see everything that your body's reporting not as separate. That's what we're getting. The Course says, good luck. Okay? He says, fat chance you'll actually do it. It's not impossible. But eventually, you absolutely will.
That can happen in just an instant.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes?
Okay.
That's right.
So then I have many more, just as one instant, especially in meditation.
It's absolutely an instant. Because it's an instant that dissolves time itself. The world is where time is. Time is an idea that is made here by the thought of the ego to separate off further. Now and then. That's duality. That's only there because of time. And then space is here and there. All that is seen through with what the Course calls the real world. That's the happy dream. The happy dream is recognition. Oh, this is all one, and I'm supporting this. And that's all. There's no more competition. And there's no longer a suffering possible.
Now
So,
you got my interest.
It is a shift in perception that ends all other needs of shifts in perception. Now, back to your comment about consciousness, subconsciousness, unconsciousness. Is sleeping unconscious or subconscious? And is my unconscious going to be the one that recognizes, can I be happy unconsciously, or have to use a conscious thought to be unconsciously happy so that I'm happy all the time by default?
Stop thinking.
Right? Right? It's honest, though. It's honest. You know, God, if I can only get my subconscious to think happy, I'd be inside happy all the time. Yeah, baby. Okay.
Isn't there a higher conscious?
Yeah, let's do the higher conscious. Yes, let's go for the higher conscious to beat out the lower conscious. Good competition. Okay. No, it's fun talking. It's very honest. They're very honest thoughts, but let's boil them out.
Yeah.
Because Course in Miracles will have none of that.
Yeah, There's no up and down. You're happy and unhappy.
That's really cute.
Turn to page 42
I was like,
in the text. 42 in the text, paragraph 2. Can somebody find a pillow for Mario?
No, it's, I got it over here.
It's a whole bunch here.
I know, this is the one that's going to work.
Oh, you need a pillow. I thought you needed a book.
No, it's just, this is laying back.
Now, folks, this is sobering stuff. I think, personally, it's helpful to have fewer terms than more terms. We're about to lose one of our terms. You might, if you can go along with what this says, you might be free. That's another one we're going to work on. That's another one we'll work on.
Reading ahead, consciousness.
This can be a twisting. This consciousness term can be a way to be victim, a way to get lost, a way to have to debate on what consciousness is and how it plays.
A way to analyze your past.
Analyze, yep. Course in Miracles. Well, let's just read it. Ochi, would you like to read that paragraph?
Sure.
Paragraph 2.
Consciousness, the level of perception, was the first split introduced into the mind after the separation, making the mind a perceiver rather than a creator. Consciousness is correctly identified as a domain of the ego. The ego is wrong-minded attempt to perceive yourself as you wish to be, rather than as you are. Yet you can know yourself only as you are, because that is all you can be for sure, can be sure of. Everything else is open to question.
See, isn't that nice? You can only, Right. It's a domain of the ego. It's a handy device introduced in the separation. Remember, the separation was an effort made by a very powerful creator to make separate and different.
There you go.
Well, the Son of God. What would it be like if I was different from Dad? First, he had to make an idea of Dad. It started to be separate from all that is. What would it be like if, instead of being an infinite extension, if I was just different? That's the tiny mad idea. Well, you're so powerful as an extension of God, who was given all that God is. You can do that. You can do that. But it's very difficult, see, because it's absurd. And you'd have to go into fantasy to be different, separate from all that is, which includes you. If we say everything, we're including you. No, I want to be different from everything. Oh, I see. That means everything is no longer everything. That's crazy, right?
It's insanity.
It's insanity. So, but you are a creator. You're creative. You're witty. You're quick. You're a movie maker. You can make a way. You can make a way.
Make a wish to be something.
But you're going to need some qualities. And one of them turned out to be consciousness of self.
Self-conscious.
Yeah. And so this is one of the tools. And time is another one. Space is another one.
We call self-esteem is really just empowering our ego, right?
Uh-huh. Yep. Dreams. You said, dreams is a great way to do it, because then you can be thinking about something that isn't real and not know it's false. That's what a dream is, right? A dream is you're actually using the mind outside of reality. But before you can do that, you need to make something called sleep. See the layers? That's exactly what we did. And this is spelled out for us on page 106. Is that first you had to make a sleep. And then inside the sleep, which you made, not created, which you made and uphold, you had bad dreams. Inside the sleep that you made. And the Course says, sleep is not real.
You made it up.
You made it up. And God calls you to awake. God calls you to awake. Yeah.
That's
something like the answer
That
to all
seems-
questions.
Exactly.
Right, doesn't it?
What's that?
I mean, I can't explain that. That wake up. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just,
Right.
it just happens. There's no rhythm to it. There's no, it's just sudden. One split second.
Absolutely an instant. It's
Yeah.
absolutely an instant that might take you 70 years to allow, to afford, or 7,000 years to afford that one instant, because it would not come with fear. As one thing will guarantee you is that your awakening will not come by force or by fear. It will come from this happy dream.
They come from where?
A happy dream.
That's
Not
what we were talking
a
about.
scary dream.
Because fear blocks any. It's like splitting God in half.
Fear is
blocks spirit.
Fear is empowered by loss. Fear is empowered by loss. Fear only exists inside the nightmare. That was built so you could try out what it would be like to be disconnected from all.
So we're ensuring the nightmare by being fearful.
Oh yeah, that's part of the deal. That's part of the way to do
And
it.
it keeps you protected in misery.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels, isn't it?
I'm going to read that part
Yeah.
here then. The one answer.
Now hold on. So paragraph 3, the next paragraph. Mar- oh,
Well,
yeah,
no,
go
I was
ahead.
just going to ask you if vision and dream was basically the same thing.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Dream is a fantasy, and in Course in Miracles, vision is understanding, seeing from right thinking, with help of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was
Good,
getting
good,
confused.
good question.
Okay.
Yeah, very important indeed. So before we go to that, Wendy, so paragraph 3, the ego is the questioning aspect of the post-separation self, which was made rather than created. So Course in Miracles makes this distinction with these two words, made and create. Make and create. Ego makes. You make something, it comes and goes. Spirit creates. It's there forever. Creation is there forever. It's an extension.
Okay.
Yes. That's creation. Wonderful celebration and extension of what is. Whereas make is a fantasy. It's a temporary thing. Not made out of reality. The ego is capable of asking questions, but not of perceiving meaningful answers. Whew. Because these would involve knowledge and cannot be perceived. Of course, because perception is in the world of duality. One thing perceiving another thing. The happy dream is the oneness. There isn't one thing to see another thing anymore. That's what the real world is. And this is the ultimate perspective, that now you will happily release the idea of being little, being separate, being a body, being able to hurt or be hurt. Both are gone. Guilt, all that stuff
Because of
dissolves.
why?
Because you will get this glimpse of oneness where creation exists instead of two-ness, thousand-ness, where making exists, where suffering and loss are. When you get to the point where you have the vision of the happy dream or the real world, you release the possibility of harm and loss. And it's not that you're trying, it's because it comes out like a laugh comes out.
Do you get that by being quiet?
That's one way.
How
Be,
else do you get
be still. Be still. The other way is to ask, to see. This is what the Holy Spirit's for.
Holy Spirit, show me
Yes? How often?
to see this differently.
Yep.
This also applies to
Every second.
Yeah.
conscious laughing. Conscious. I mean, there's nothing. There's no prelude to it. It just happens.
That's right. Just like true forgiveness
Yeah.
is not something you try to do. It just happens. Because you're miracle-minded. You're allowing to say, for example, the big miracle we like to use is, somebody's coming at you they're really hurt about something you said. So, in fact, they're so hurt they're red in the face, and they're starting to point their finger right at you between your eyes. And they're saying, you... And they're ready to fight, right? You've been there before. The miracle is the forgiveness occurs when instead of feeling like defending yourself, you see a call for love. This person is so far from feeling love that they're trying to steal it, grab it, force it with anger. You see, when you see the anger as a call for love, you no longer want to fight them. In fact, let's get them out of pain as fast as possible. Tell me what you're thinking. See, that's a shift in perception. It's a miracle. There's no time for forgiveness. It's already happened. Forgive what? There's no harm being done. Before the miracle, before your Course in Miracles, you better put up your dukes and get ready for a fight, and you better attack them before they attack you.
Or get scared.
Or you'd be afraid and run. It's a different perspective, see? That's what we're trying to get. And
One is powerless. One makes you powerless and weak and afraid, and
Victim.
the other one makes you strong and
helpful,
Yeah, helpful and peaceful.
kind, peaceful. Yes. Yes. And if you can survive the, quote, attack, which is, the yelling and the screaming, with your eyes open and easy,
That's what I want.
does this person need to defend themselves against you?
There's nothing pushing back. So
Right.
They can't fight anymore.
I've actually experimented with that. Yes.
Yeah. Changes the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
Going from fear to seeing it as a call for love.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. So so indeed, just that same
Stop them in
way.
their tracks because they'll feel the love which is the answer to what they were really trying in the first place.
Yes,
to
yes,
reach
he
out
is.
for in
Yes.
their anger.
It was what they're asking for.
So they bring
Yeah.
peace for both people.
Yeah. Same way with the awakening, Dick. Is you prepare your mind so that the awakening is the only truth. That oneness, peace, joy, sharing, that your actually nature of spirit is the only truth that makes any sense to you. You will suddenly discover one day that that's all you see yourself as. That's exactly how awakening is. It's not something you win,
Step in that direction.
or a test you pass, or anything like that.
And it's an old saying, it's very difficult, not impossible, to slap a child's face if he's smiling. if he's
Yeah.
smiling.
Yeah. That's why I always say I always bring glasses to a fight. It's totally safe. Nobody hit a guy with glasses. Okay, now we'll read that wonderful, wonderful single sentence Course in Miracle to answer to every question the ego would ask. You know it says that. Turn to page 101, paragraph 6. Every question the ego would
This is
ask.
highlighted fluorescent colors.
What's really going on here? That's one of the things the ego wants to know. What about consciousness, subconsciousness, high consciousness, low consciousness? How could, if there's a God and God is good, how could I feel so bad? If I'm from God and God is good, then how could me from God feel bad? I want to know, right? The ego's got lots and lots of questions like this.
That's why the Course threaded throughout here says, just stick with I do not know.
Yeah.
Forget this I know
Yeah.
stuff.
Because that's really the truth
right.
we do not know.
That's right. If God loves me, and Jesus loves me, or the Holy Spirit loves me, why don't they come and help me now? I'm asking. I feel bad. They feel, apparently Jesus feels good. He's like, hey, did it. Made it through the cross thing. I'm all unhappy. Right? Infinite life, got it. Why doesn't he come, show up, and give me something to see, a hand to follow, to grab, and pull my sorry butt out of my sorry life into happiness? That's what I want to know. This is honest. These are honest questions. These are real ego. All right, so let's read this. Okay. Okay, so paragraph 6 on page 101, which is chapter 6, section 4, and it's called The Only Answer.
I love it.
It says,
If you get this, you got it.
oh yeah, you don't need more than this. If this makes sense to you and you have a big sigh of relief, you're really done.
It's the answer to every single ego question that exists right here.
Here then, the one answer, we there? 101. 101, paragraph 6. He says, here then, the one answer of the Holy Spirit to all the questions the ego raises. He clears his throat. He knows it's going to be hard for you to take. You are a child of God, a priceless part of His kingdom, which He created as part of Him. Nothing else exists, and only this is real. Now, you have chosen a sleep in which you have had bad dreams. But the sleep is not real, and God calls you to awake.
Boy, is that right on.
That's the long and the short of it.
That's right on.
Yeah.
And dreams mean waking or sleeping is all the same.
Yes, yes, yes.
Kind of like the ending here.
Read it for us.
Oh, there will be nothing left of your dream when you hear him.
Yep.
Because you will awaken.
Nothing left of your dream.
That's it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Finish the whole paragraph.
Oh. Your dreams contain many of the ego's symbols, and they have confused you.
Consciousness, unconscious, high conscious, low conscious.
Yet, that was only because you were asleep and you did not know. There's no knowing on this planet, by the way. Okay? When you wake, you will see the truth around you and in you.
Mm-hmm.
And you will no longer believe in dreams because they will have no reality for you. Yet the kingdom of all that you have created, there will have great reality for you because they are beautiful and true.
It's like the improvement of dreams. The dreams here are ugly, false, with a little bit of teasing of beauty, substitutes for beauty. He says, no, when you wake up, now you'll be creating. And the kingdom you create there, which means in the presence of God or Spirit or truth, beautiful, true, permanent, and you can't wait to share it. Yeah. All right, that's our happy talk for the night. Let's get back to work, okay?
Too bad we couldn't sign off with this.
I know, this is it's a great section. You know, this section is called The Lessons of Love, chapter 6. And he talks about the crucifixion and teach not that I died, but that I live in you. There's your job.
Wow.
Yeah. That's for another day. Let's go back to some real depression.
What page are we on?
Okay, now we're on page 342.
It's such a depression that we laugh over because otherwise we start crying.
Yes.
This is a
Yes.
special relationship.
Yes.
But we don't recognize the misery of the special relationship before the two. By exploring it, then we won't recognize we're in it and won't have any mindful awareness about setting up, being free of it, right?
We'll still think it's worth pursuing. But that's right, Wendy. You would not wake from a dream that was wonderful.
That's how this chapter is benefiting me.
When you see it for the dream, when you see it for the false promises, then you can have a little giggle on the inside. Don't laugh on the outside because your partner may still be very, very serious in the struggle that you were in last week. But once you wake up, things just the fights can't last because there aren't two sides fighting.
That's true.
So that's what we're trying to do here, is to unwrap the belief that we need to fight. Check out how this paragraph describes that. All right. This paragraph 9. He says, oh God, the appeal. The appeal of hell. The appeal of hell. See how absurd that? We can laugh at that. Well, appeal of hell? You're not supposed to like hell.
Contradiction.
Yeah, you're not supposed to like hell. He says, but
Trying.
you sure trying. You sure keep weaving these nightmare dreams of competition where you two are special and happy together, and around you is a whole bunch of ugliness that you choose not to use on each other. That's a special relationship. Yeah, that's a soulmate. Well, when we're together, we're magic because we're supposed to be together. And all those SOBs on the outside, boy.
They don't have what we have.
They don't have what we have, yeah. They're yeah, angered losers. Yeah.
That's why would you seek a
Yeah.
relationship at all?
And privately, you're saying, I was one of those losers before I met you. I brought my losing self, and I tried to clean it up a little bit, stand up straight, went to the gym 3 weeks before our first date. Great, right? Bump it up. So that I could somehow maybe get some of that beautiful smile that you have, because it makes me feel good when I'm near you. I'll trade my hidden loser self. We just read this. We'll trade something that we really believe is less value for something of greater value. Because you make me happy. You actually go to the gym without needing to. I want some of that. You know? All right? We make these trades.
This is so true. That fits me more than once.
So read this paragraph. It says, the appeal of hell lies only in the terrible attraction of guilt, which the ego holds out to those who place their faith in littleness. The conviction of littleness lies in every special relationship, for only the deprived could value specialness. The demand for specialness and the perception of the giving of specialness as an act of love. Well, we're busted on that, aren't we? Oh, would make love hateful. The real purpose of the special relationship, in strict accordance with the ego's goals, is to destroy reality and substitute illusion. For the ego is itself an illusion, and only illusions can be the witnesses to the ego's seeming reality. Okay, so that's a pretty meaty paragraph. We really could read that and go on to the next section. That is so complete.
It's to destroy reality, so destroy the truth.
Okay, so first thing it's saying is, the appeal of hell. Why would you want to be in hell? What's so good about? Why would you possibly want to be in a place of loss, limit, discomfort? That's hell, right? The appeal of hell lies only in the terrible attraction of guilt. Now, we've just read for the last, since chapter 14, guilt and the heavy investment in guilt. Why would guilt give any value to anybody? And the reason why is, if you're guilty and I get you to admit it, I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
so you can project
free.
it on your loved one.
That's right. Guilt is a projection.
And then you feel like, oh, I feel better.
Yep.
Pretend
Oh,
nothing.
yeah. I got credit now. I got a bit up. Somebody else is guilty and you're not. The ego uses that as a source of, liberation or strength, because somebody else is guilty.
Because we feel so guilty. Right?
Turns out there's a cost to pay. Now, wouldn't you rather that Jason was guilty instead of you? Definitely. That feels better. I mean, really. Look, there's nobody here that's actually guilty tonight except for Jason.
Except when he walks in.
He's he's got, all of you are really innocent. Good job today. But this one. Yeah. So there's a little relief there. I think at least it's not me. At least he didn't pick on me, right?
He was tardy.
Not me.
Now, that is a little juice that we get, and catch yourself on this, folks,
Yeah.
that we do this.
Yeah.
I mean, Are you innocent? Are you better off because you're a Democrat and somebody else is guilty because they're a Republican? And that's how we got into that war? Right? Yeah, man, are you kidding? That's obvious. But the Course says, watch out, because there's a price to pay for saying somebody else is guilty.
Because they'll attack you?
The one who's guilty is wrong, did something bad, and deserves to be punished. Well, yeah, Andrew, of course. Here's the cost. The cost is, if I can see guilt as real over there, I am defining exactly what I'm subject to any of these digressions that I have made.
Yeah.
Yet ye who has never sinned, cast the first stone. Go ahead. Anybody here who's truly not guilty, you come over here and punch him.
Oh my God.
He raises, he said he's guilty. He raised his hand. He admitted he was guilty. So you who have never sinned, come on over and just punch him. He won't fight back.
Oh my God.
There's no way, right? See, so as the guilt is real there, it reflects like a mirror. You can't escape it.
So when it's my turn.
Yeah. Okay? So there's an attraction of guilt because now we're living in our regular everyday lives, in our relationship, and something is wrong. You were late for dinner, or you didn't take out the trash and you should have.
Okay. I'm guilty.
Yeah. Well, you know you're guilty. You're caught. Whew. Well, it's just bad, right? It's just bad. You did it. You're just, the other person is standing over you with their arms folded. You told me you would do it, and you didn't. Ah, it's crushing, right? But if you can point out
That they did something.
yeah, that they're the ones that let the dog out yesterday. And it ran all over terrorizing the neighborhood, and we lost sleep trying to find the dog. Remember? Who was it that left the door open? Hello? Now I can push some guilt back your way.
So petty.
You know the dog runs.
That's called little.
That's not a secret. Okay, I didn't take the trash out. That's fine. But you really cost us something when that dog got out. The pound called. They think they might have to come take the dog. Uh-oh. Now she's more guilty than me, right? The pound, the dog, oh my God, oh no. We're totally off my issue of taking the trash out and on to your problem, which is huge. Guilt. See, that's the attraction of hell, because if you can get a better hell going, it's better than a bad hell. The Course is going to wake us up from this whole dance of false love, false relief. The idea of hell, of a good hell or a bad hell. Okay? And the previous section was called the illusion and the reality of love. And it says, look, all these things you have are illusions of love. They're actually hell, just like I described. Wow. Okay? So that's the appeal of hell, because it lies in a terrible attraction of guilt, which the ego holds out to those who place their faith in littleness.
Wow.
If you think you're little and separate, you're a perfect sucker to be ladled with guilt. Yeah. The conviction of littleness, he goes on, right? He's backing it up. The conviction of littleness, in other words, the conviction of littleness, how is it? Where's the proof of littleness? Where's the conviction means proof, right? And here it means why you believe it's true. The conviction of littleness lies in every special relationship. For only the deprived could value specialness. He's really summarizing a lot of what we've already read.
If you feel deprived, meaning you feel
You're not whole.
You're
not complete.
You're not loved.
You don't have love. You're not good. You're not good enough. You're deprived. You're deprived.
You don't see yourself as whole.
But if you guys could somehow find a way to date Karen, who has a new job, she's got a dog, great place to live, you wouldn't be as deprived, I'll tell you. She studies Course in Miracles. She's a happy attitude, good nature. She'll pull you up when you're down. Because you're little, and you can benefit from somehow getting in a special relationship to get something from the outside.
Wow.
From the outside. You see? So that is where littleness is experienced and reinforced when you're trying to solve it.
You're trying to get something on the outside that's already on the inside.
Right. It's like you only seek for something you don't have.
Or you think you don't have because you don't have it.
Right. And so you're proving to yourself you don't have it as you go looking for it. Right? That's the kind of thought what's going on here. Now, the demand for specialness and the perception of the giving of specialness as an act of love. I'll read that more slowly. The demand for specialness, please treat me special, and the perception of giving specialness, I will treat you special. I will reserve my hate for somebody else, not you, because you're special and we're in a relationship. Remember we said, I agree to like what you like and hate what you hate. And that's how we'll be together happily.
You make love hateful.
Yes, but I'm reserving my hate. So now we're together. Remember it described we're together peacefully and happily in a storm of hate that's outside of us. We're holding a special place together that's so happy. The Course says, watch out for that, because what you're doing is you're idolizing hate, and you say we're together because we don't hate. Our love is evidenced because we don't hate like we hate those guys. Don't you hate those guys, Dick? I do too.
Yes.
Well, we should hang out more. It's a slippery slope, okay?
We call that love.
We call that love. And that's what he wants to catch us on. He says, when you call that love, see the end of this sentence? It makes love hateful. Now, if I were to say, hey, Jesus showed up. He's down on Pacific Avenue, and he's willing to show you God's love. And if the only love you've known is to somehow be choosy about not hating, God's love might have a huge hate that's being held back. I don't know. I'm a little worried about this God's love thing. Can you get a little sense here that the ego's quality of love has a lot more to do with a special hate than it does with a special love? The Course is trying to get you to see how conditional the ego's love is. That conditional nature means it's on when it's good, and it'll be off when it ain't. That's conditional.
How do you have a relationship with, when you want to have a love with somebody without that?
Yeah! Perfect question.
You have to have a holy relationship.
Perfect question. Well, it takes some guts. It'll be a holy relationship, which we'll be reading about soon. Okay, and so we're going to abandon, we're going to start to look now for a way to not pursue the guilt and hate. Well, hopefully you come out of tonight thinking, at the very least, I'll be looking for ways that I am defending off hate or making somebody special only because I'm trying, I'm agreeing not to hate what they do. Wow. But I'm still hating outside me. And I'll even hate with them if they'll join me. Wow. Just watch out for these. Watch out for these. It sounds so good when you're doing a gossip. You'll catch yourself maybe. Next time you're with your loved one, find out how often you're talking about hate and enjoying it. What you're actually doing is you're idolizing hate. Together. That makes you in love, right?
And they love you when you agree with them.
They love you.
Love you when you don't agree with them.
Exactly. Okay, good. Now, so what he says is, be careful because you're going to make love hateful. The real purpose of the special relationship in strict accordance with the ego's goals is to destroy reality and substitute illusion, which we talked about a little earlier tonight. Sort of how this all happened with the sleep and the dream inside of the sleep, being separate from God. This was an effort to destroy reality. Just not because you needed to, you just wanted to. It was, like a child's play. And the Course talks about how deeply we wove ourselves into the dream. But now it's time to awake. And that's what this book is for. Give you a chance to awake from that pursuit.
Everybody here wants to wake, otherwise we wouldn't be here.
Yes, everybody here wants to awake. That is absolutely correct. No longer fully drunk on the dream.
We're tired of the pain.
Tired of the pain.
Of what the ego.
Tired of the suffering. Yes.
You're already on the hangover part.
Yes. All right, Lisa, why don't you read for us paragraph 10?
Paragraph 10, page
343.
343. Okay. If you perceive the special relationship as a triumph over God, would you want it? Let us not think of its fearful nature, nor of the guilt it must entail, nor of the sadness and the loneliness. For these are only attributes of the whole religion of separation and of the total context in which it is thought to occur. The central theme in its litany to sacrifice is that God must die so you can live. And it is this theme that is acted out in the special relationship. Through the death of yourself, you think you can attack another self and snatch it from the other to replace the self that you despise. And you despise it because you do not think it offers the specialness that you demand. And hating it, you have made it little and unworthy because you are afraid of it.
Mm-hmm. So this is really similar to what we've been reading before, where we're trading one self for another. And when it says in the middle, the sentence I want to draw your attention to is that the central theme in its litany to sacrifice is that God must die. So you ego, you separate body, you separate and alone existence who's going to strike it out and get more for yourself so you can be happy. That's the you I'm talking about. The one you see in the mirror. Okay? You can live as that if God dies. Right. You're not aware of wanting to kill off God.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
But it's just inherent in wanting to be special.
Has to. It's absolutely required. Because this is an exclusion of oneness, of God, of spirit. This is an exclusion of being of all that is.
You mean the ego, the whole plot?
Yes, the whole plot, the ego.
It's a perfect separation plot.
Perfect separation plot.
Okay, so inherent in that, it's not literally trying to kill God, wanting God to die, but inherent in the separation is there could be no God if there's separation.
Right? So that you can be Wendy. To only be Wendy. And
just to enjoy, try to find pleasure in the separation.
yes. To make the separation work.
And you can't be aware of God if you're trying to do that. Before when it first happened, I mean, well, all of them happened in one moment, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The desire for separation and then not wanting it.
Yes. Yeah. Now it's just this dream. What the Course says is over. Don't worry. You're actually stuck. The world has ended long ago. There's not a real problem.
The dream isn't real.
Nope, because the dream's not real. That's right. We're just invested, the part of you that's listening to my voice, is just invested in rehearsing this dream. Can't make it real.
So it's important to see what we're doing or how it is that we are in this dream. What's keeping us in the dream.
Keeping is right.
I
Good.
know now
Good.
From this, what's keeping me.
That's
Beautiful.
why you have to pay attention to everything.
I'm keeping me in it.
That you're doing it.
Yes.
You have to be aware that you're doing it.
Like any habit you have, you got to pay attention. If you want to stop doing what the habit would have you do, now we can talk about your unconscious. The habit is something you programmed and followed, and now you do without thinking. If suddenly the law was no seatbelts allowed, you can no longer drive with your seatbelt on. Some of us, that's going to be a little adjustment. I'm going to get a few tickets before I can remember to take it. I mean, I don't even know when I put it on. Yeah. The habits of guilt, the habit of making somebody else guilty so that you can be somehow better, free, and distanced from the problem. That is a habit, folks. Yep. Okay.
So
It's not easy for a lot of people to give up.
Indeed. Get a little juice out of it, see?
So is that when people blame?
Yes. You get a little juice out of it. If I can
Or
blame
if
you...
tell somebody they hurt you, that's the same thing.
Same thing. Guilt. Move the guilt over there.
Right?
That doesn't make me feel any good.
Aha.
Yeah.
Doesn't help. Well,
But I
good.
think I'm beyond that already.
Maybe you're done with that.
Yeah.
Maybe you're done with that. Good. Good. And so now you'll be teaching that you'll be teaching that you're free of that. You'll be teaching a peaceful person who gets blamed. And you don't feel like fighting back. You don't need to.
Even when I want to, even when I'm tempted to accuse someone
Mhm.
of something, I know that I'm just resisting, just being stubborn.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, leftover habits and things.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, no, so true. The Course beautifully says you don't have to have no errant thoughts, just none that you would keep.
None that you keep.
That's healed. The healed mind still has these negative thoughts, but it no longer believes in them. It doesn't try to keep them. The unhealed mind not only keeps them, it worships them, it builds them up bigger, starts blaming them on others.
And it feels guilty that it thinks that it's real or it thinks that it's true. It judges what it thinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you pay attention to how bad you actually feel when you're doing all that, that's, I think, what will get you to stop. You
Yes.
think it makes you feel good, but when you really touch base, you realize you're not feeling good when you gossip or judge or any of that.
Right.
Good point.
We start to look at the costs of that little bit of juice. It's too much. You don't want to pay it anymore. Yeah, you'd rather somehow find freedom from that. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue. Who wants to read the next paragraph? Now let's read paragraph 11.
I can read it.
Mine.
How can you grant unlimited power to what you think you have attacked? So fearful has the truth become to you that unless it is weak and little and unworthy of value, you will not dare to look upon it. You think it safer to endow the little self you made with power you wrested from truth, triumphing over it and leaving it helpless. See how exactly is the spiritual enacted in the special relationship. An altar is erected in between two separate people on which one seeks to kill his self and on his body raise another self to take its power from his death. Over and over and over, the spiritual is enacted, and it is never completed, nor will it be completed, nor ever will it be completed. The ritual of completion cannot complete, for life arises not from death, nor heaven from hell.
Okay, so this is...
That is a hell of
Hell. George used a lot of your
that.
Are you
That's really a predicament.
It is a predicament. You feeling it? You get into a special relationship, you have given up your, say, single self. Okay, just make simple words here. You've given up your single life, closed your Match.com account, and now you're on Facebook and you put in relationship. Facebook. Wow, boy, how long will it take her to check off? I better not check mine until she checks hers. She says she's in relationship, and then I will. Oh, come on. But what you're doing is you're shifting into relationship, into special relationship, and you're going to kill off. The Course is being graphic here. You're going to kill off now your single self. I'll call it single self here. And now now it's Andrew and Marcia. That's really I am Andrew of Andrew and Marcia. We're together, as you guys know. Yeah. She goes, I go. Where I go, she goes. I'm watching out for her. She watches out for me. Yep. That's right. She hates what I hate. That's how I know she's for me.
knows what else things.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. We know it. Okay. So it's a ritual that has been we've cooperated. We decided to be together, and I've killed off because I don't go over and kiss that one anymore, and I don't go kiss that one anymore. I only kiss this one. And so I've agreed to do that, and we're special together now. I give her some specialness. I tell her what a good cook she is. She gives me specialness. She loves how I play the piano. Yep, it's all good. Happiness. Okay. Now, what the Course is trying to call out here is paragraph 11, sentence 4. See how exactly is this ritual enacted in a special relationship. Okay? And he uses this word altar. And he says, an altar is erected in between two separate people. And the altar is
Marriage ceremony.
marriage. We're a couple. Look on our Facebook page. You'll see a picture of her now. I deleted the picture of Karen because that's over. But now, I got Marcia on there. Okay? Now that's my new altar to our togetherness. Okay? See how exactly this was enacted. An altar is erected between the two separate people on which each seeks to kill his self, separate self, and on his dead body, it's okay, we'll poke you, and on his dead body, raise another self to take its power from his own death.
How ridiculous.
You see, because the single Andrew is gone. That loser is, I'm with her now. Don't worry about me, man.
And all the emptiness, all the spaces that you have are filled by the things she has.
That's right. You see
the notion of thereof.
Right. And the better,
notion
the more the pictures, the better of us smiling. Because then when Mai comes in, I wonder how Andrew's relationship is going. With, see all these smiling pictures on Facebook? Oh, God, they must be really happy. I've killed off my single self, and she killed off her miserable single self. She didn't even cook because it made her depressed. She didn't like cooking alone. She said, if you're going to cook, you should cook for somebody. The poor girl was miserable before she met me. I love her cooking. I love to eat. And so together, we really work, see? She took her miserable self, killed it, and on its dead body, to remain dead, she's now together with me. And now she's happy.
I am fulfilled.
There you go. Okay, so
That's what we do.
yeah, the Course says, watch out for this short little false promise of what happiness is, please. Please. Yep, there's you can bring a lot more to a relationship than that. Okay, let's rock it. Let's go for paragraph 12. Mario, you ready? Who wants to read?
Could we read sentence 6 again?
Absolutely. In 11? Go ahead.
Yeah, in 11, number 6, it says, over and over. Now, this is not like Jesus that much. This says over and over and over.
Yes.
This ritual is enacted. It's been going on for some time, huh?
You don't usually see this
Very
much.
frequent.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and if you don't get it in one, you'll break off that relationship and you'll
Probably
try the
each
next
over
one.
is probably 100,000 likes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it is never completed.
Mm-hmm.
Nor ever will it be completed.
Mm-hmm.
My God. The ritual of completion cannot complete, for life arises not from death, nor heaven from hell.
You'll never find it under the laws of separation.
Right.
You'll never find unity. Remember we read a couple paragraphs ago? It was this, a type of, a special relationship is a type of unity where unity is excluded. He's laughing at us, right?
Yeah, the ego is just laughing up a storm. Right?
Yeah, yeah. And it's not real
It's like where
unity.
God is excluded.
It's like, let's be alone together, is what it really is. That's not unity. That's not unity. He says, you guys are shooting way too low. That's what this book is going to show us. Okay. Now, would you like to read paragraph 12 for us? I forgot your name. No?
If the book was in Norwegian, I could read it.
Okay.
Alone.
I'd love to hear that. Okay. Robert, paragraph 12?
Sure. Whenever any form of special relationship tempts you to seek for love and ritual, remember love is content and not form of any kind.
You got to read that again. You got I'm sorry. You repeat that. That's amazing.
Whenever any form of special relationship tempts you to seek for love and ritual, remember love is content and not form of any kind.
Content. What does that mean? No.
That's what it means.
Yep, that's what it means. We'll get to it. Go ahead.
A special relationship is a ritual of form aimed at raising the form to take the place of God at the expense of content.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
There is no meaning in the form, and there will never be.
Mm-hmm.
The special relationship must be recognized for what it is, a senseless ritual in which strength was extracted from the death of God and invested in his killer as the sign that form has triumphed over content and love has lost its meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Would you want this to be possible, even apart from its evident impossibility? If it were possible, you would have made yourself helpless. God is not angry. He merely could not let this happen. You cannot change his mind. No rituals that you have set up in which the dance of death delights you can bring death to the eternal.
Thank goodness.
Nor can your chosen substitute for the wholeness of God have any influence at all upon it.
We haven't changed
Okay.
a darn thing by making up this dream.
Right?
We're still as powerful as God.
God still is true.
Everything is still true about us. It always was true.
Yep. The truth is true, and only the truth is true.
Thank
Only-
goodness
right?
our dreams can't
Yes.
change with God.
Now, in this paragraph, talks about God like he was some dude. Right?
Yeah, kill him
And now the course does that so that our separate mind can understand what we're talking about. But by no means is the course trying to call God some individual who's feeling you can hurt or who's going to come chase after you.
Yeah.
So he lets
No.
us do whatever
Yeah.
we want.
It's also, yeah,
That's why we get in trouble.
yeah. We're part of God. We are.
Of God, even. Yeah. So the course describes God in chapter 15. It says, God is an idea.
Mm-hmm.
God is
So are we.
He says, that's hard enough for you to imagine, but what's even harder is that you're an idea also.
That's right.
But then, he's talking high level, way beyond what we could possibly allow into our minds. And he gets right back to lower level discussions. But it's in the book. So what does the Course also say about love? God is that God is love, right?
But content, there's no form. It's the eternal.
Yeah, no body involved, none of that kind of stuff.
I mean, just before we look at this paragraph a little more, let's get our minds in A Course in Miracles perspective on what God is. Not somebody with a big beard sits on a cloud waiting for you to show up. When you're ready to repent. That's not what Course thinks God is. Yeah. Now it's okay if you do. It's okay if you do, but just make sure you give God all the attributes of love that you can muster. Okay? So, if God is love, God is truth, God is goodness. Now when you read this paragraph, and there are actually 10 descriptions of what God is, how God is in the back of the book, right? Yeah. It's trust, honesty,
That's right, all that.
joy, gentleness,
From the society.
defenselessness, tolerance, kindness, generosity. Kindness isn't one of them, but I throw it in. Okay, now when you read this paragraph, and it says, whenever any form of a special relationship tempts you to seek for love in ritual, ritual is just this fantasy, another approximation of something, which is called a special relationship. Remember, love is content. Love is content. So we also say God is content.
Yeah.
And not form of any kind. Form is separation, separate,
Bodies.
limited. The special relationship is a ritual of form. That's okay. You can play the ritual form once you understand what you're doing. The problem is that we're substituting the special relationship, the ritual form, being in bodies, as a way to be happy or a way to get love. Or to love. Worse even.
We're trying to get love from something that can only give us suffering.
And give love from something that suffers.
Yeah.
It's twisted.
Twist.
Yeah. But it can be a lot of fun.
Trying.
It can be a lot of fun.
Used to dance it.
If it's fun to dance, when you recognize you're dancing and that you're choosing to dance, rather than you are struggling to dance to save your life.
That's what I was
That's
doing.
not a fun dance.
That's what I was doing.
When you go on the dance floor and you think everybody's watching you, and you're just so embarrassed, you can't wait to... You think everybody's saying, oh, God, wait till Ochi stands up. She's the most awkward dancer. I'm embarrassed when she dances. That's a hard dance to dance. That's a hard... When it matters. When it matters what you look like when you dance, that's hard for me. Maybe some of you guys are great dancers, okay? You can't wait to show off your stuff.
Strut your stuff.
Okay? So that's what we're talking about here. This is not what love is like. It's not what freedom is like. It's not what dancing is like. If you ever danced freely, like nobody was watching, it is joyous.
Yes.
It just feels great. You're moving with the music. This is freedom. This is happiness.
Yeah. I
This
watched
is-
a little girl do that, 5
Yes.
years old, on the porch across the street.
Yes.
And I watched that little girl, and I said, oh, I would really like to do that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And her grandmother came over that afternoon and said something, and I said, I want to say something
Yes.
about your granddaughter.
Yes.
She's going to be 5, I know. She said, guess what? I said, this young lady, I watched her twirl and go down the porch, and I thought, oh my God, I would love, I remember doing that, and I loved it.
Yes.
And now I don't do it anymore.
Yes.
Too bad.
Self-conscious or whatever.
Well, yeah. But yeah, it's just...
Can you all imagine yourselves dancing tonight
Capture a feeling that I know.
yeah.
as a meditation? If you got a favorite song you like to dance to, you turned it on when nobody was watching, you just danced until you sweat and laughed. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Isn't that wonderful?
And play the twist.
Isn't that free? That's why I say you can live the rest of your life in a body, whether or not the cancer comes, whether or not the wrinkles come, they're coming. You can leave yourself in it with whatever body you have.
Yeah.
And it can be fun, even as it loses its mobility, or its color, or its straight, whatever. You can have and enjoy this dance as the dance, and not as a survival for your own existence.
Yeah.
So is the pee dance
What's P?
when you need to go pee?
Yeah,
What, what?
that's a forced dance.
No, I know, but there's also there's that feeling of relief.
I thought it was an acting.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're done dancing.
When the dance comes to an end, because you're wearing diapers to the dance floor. Yeah.
That's just
I gotta work with Mario sometime.
No, I was just thinking because it's like I'm using like the dance,
Yes.
the dance like you were talking about, like the
Yeah.
the marriage dance or whatever.
The twist.
Yeah, when it's over, there's always there's a payment. There's a payment or a relief or something's always going to come.
Yes.
The diamond.
You know what the
Oh yeah, there is. There's a
Chinese
relief.
say about coming?
Huh?
Go.
It's like going.
They call it go. Come.
Right. Yeah.
That means they came.
Nobody got that.
Look,
No,
Look.
but that actually is true.
but
It is true.
that's great. But now to play on what Mario said a little bit, if you guys were to go home and dance in front of the mirror, or just turn off the lights and dance to your
So
favorite
much
music,
fun.
dance until the song is over, maybe twice, until you find yourself giggling and how fun that was.
Yeah.
This is what I mean about living your rest of your life in freedom. Nobody's watching you. You're watching you. Stop caring so much about what you look like. Nobody else does. That's freedom.
That's free.
Yep.
Yeah, I create my own dance steps.
Nice.
Oh, I got a thing going on. I
Okay.
create some stuff.
Okay, man.
Yep.
That's how it is.
Um,
After
they're
class.
really different.
Oh,
He's blushing right now.
Nah,
I'll give you some music. I'll give you some music.
no.
All right. Okay, so look at this. So here we go. So the special relationship is a ritual form aimed at raising the form to take the place of God at the expense of content. There's no meaning in the form, and there never will be. The special relationship must be recognized for what it is. He's saying, please,
A senseless.
you have to do this. You have to do this, which is why we're struggling so much with these words, these chapters.
See the pain.
It's a senseless ritual in which strength is extracted from the death of God. Now, what did we just say God was? Yes, the only way this sentence is going to make any sense, if you remember what we just said about what God is. We're extracting strength from God and replacing it with trying to share guilt in the right places, trying to, deserve love. Okay? That's at the expense of God. Now, what did we say God was? Anybody?
An idea?
Okay. And?
Love.
Love. What else?
Trust.
Honesty.
Open-mindedness.
Mm-hmm. Generosity. Compassion. Sharing. Inclusion. Wholeness. Yes, 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 and yes, and yes. From that perspective, you can live any life you get.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again, what you're saying.
From the perspective of God, what we just defined as God, folks,
Yeah.
we just defined God as being able to afford trust, honesty, playfulness, defenselessness, generosity, invulnerability, thank you.
All of that.
Yes.
Oh,
What a way to live. Were you to live from that perspective,
Yeah.
you're free.
It takes. It takes. It takes some doing to get there.
Is it more fun?
Oh, yeah, any part of that is a lot more fun.
Do you think you might sleep better?
Yeah.
Would people want to
No.
hang out with you?
Yeah. Now one.
Would your loneliness be over
Yeah.
because you were trustworthy,
No.
you're honest,
yeah,
you're gentle,
yeah.
you're tolerant, you're open-minded, you have this interesting quality of faithfulness. Tell me more about that. Right? Patient? You're patient. You like to be around people who are patient.
If you can get in touch with your joy,
Yeah.
that's really something.
The qualities of God.
Yeah.
We're onto something. We're onto something here.
Joy.
So what you're saying is-
girl.
Yes, yes, you did. That little girl was in you.
Yeah.
So you're saying if you have the
Truly.
perspective...
And it's there now. Right now.
Yeah.
Right
I
now.
can see it.
That little girl,
Yeah.
right
you
now,
feel that free
Yeah.
flow.
that feels good. I feel the whole room has that little girl dancing. We've all
Thank
got
you
we've all
for
got her.
that. Everybody has that feeling, I think.
Yep. Dance like nobody's looking. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Okay. So now, so when we look for happiness in the form, in this special, what we're actually doing is we're denying or extracting strength from God, from all those trust and tolerance. We're not calling on that. And what I'm calling on is this one. I'm calling on her to perform and treat me special. And I'll treat you special too. Wait till you see my Valentine's Day. Oh, I'm good. Good. Wow, it's my best. I got the candles and I got music. I got CD just right. Oh, she'll be in tears.
Special too.
Oh, you do?
Right.
But if, and then what if your special forgets?
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. No, yeah. I have a pre-Valentine's Day ritual. Do you have one of those? That's so good. All right. All right. Now, but you see what you're doing is, as fun as that is, you're extracting from the bigger picture. You're extracting from the content
Yeah.
of truth, trust. Oh, you know what content of honesty is?
To be honest.
Can you touch that for a moment? The content of honesty, the content of trust, not the form, not what it looks like, but the content of trust. I really, really trust. I don't have to try. I don't even have to try to trust you. Whoa, what's that? That's the strength of God that we're talking about, that we're excluding from our lives when we get involved in looking at a special relationship for happiness. It's not strong. It's conditional. Yep.
Oh,
I just want to say that I think for me to actually see through Ty's vision, see truly with understanding is if you suspend all judgment. I mean, that's the only way to trust. I think trust that you don't know. You know what I mean? If you already think you know, then it's difficult to trust that person.
Yeah.
Because you've already made an assumption. And you've already made your decision because you know.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yes. And now we've set up limits and some way for them to fail. Because you know how they should be.
Yeah. Well, we know.
Yes.
So the way we're extracting that from God is by looking for those attributes in our special relationship.
Yep.
Looking for them.
Just like Mai said, you got a judgment. Even call it a good judgment. No, I judge him or her to be really good for these 5 qualities. You're setting up littleness, folks.
Sure.
Because they can't believe.
Well, she's always on time. She's always a good cook. She's very clean. She seems to love to listen to me sing. I love that. These are compliments, right? I mean, it's good. I mean, it makes me happy when she's all these ways.
The problem with all of that, it is basically meaningless.
Because it's only a projection on
yeah,
you.
that's right. Projections. They're conditions. They're judgments.
And when she doesn't do it, what happens
right?
when she doesn't like your singing and she doesn't give you a Valentine's Day card? Then the love becomes hate.
Maybe she never liked my singing. Now that she said, Andrew, please don't sing tonight. That's going to break my heart. We've been together for 3 years. 3 years, she says, don't sing. I just would rather not listen to you sing. I'm wondering, oh my God. What else has she been lying about?
And he used to give massages and no more of those either.
You start to unravel. Right, see, this is not the strength of trust, tolerance, patience, defenselessness. None of these things have a form. My ego requires what?
It's not honesty.
It's not even honesty. It's not. Yep, honesty's been excluded. It's a kind of union where union was excluded.
It's symbiotic, but it's not honesty.
Right. We danced. As long as the right music was playing, we were dancing.
It's conditional.
It's conditional. You bet. It's just not strong. Really happy for the first 3 years until she told me to stop singing.
First 3 weeks.
Yeah, until you told me you hated my cooking.
When I told her that, and I sat her down as nicely as I could, and I said, Marcia,
She plays into you.
tofu cacciatore is not cacciatore.
I like that.
I had to explain this to her. It's chicken cacciatore with real meat. And she's heartbroken. She's heartbroken. See, Andrew only did it for you because it's better for you.
Because I love you. I want you to eat
Yeah, but I don't like how it tastes.
They
Right? So
sound
she's
married
so
already.
pure, right? She's trying to help me out
They sound
here.
married.
Oh my God. Conditional, right? Okay, that's what we're getting at. When we learn the aspects of God that we're learning from this book, take the picture of God with a beard out of your mind and put in these 10 attributes starting on page 9 in your Manual for Teachers that describe what love is. These are universal characteristics on how you will start to live your life as a teacher of what?
God.
Teacher of God.
So all these things that we saw in that person were just not real. They projected from our mind and our dream onto them.
Yes.
And then we felt so sad,
Disappointed.
grieved that they no longer delivered what
Yes.
they never had.
Yes. Now, let's take what she did not deliver. So she stopped delivering something. She says, Andrew, I am not cooking tonight. If I see it from the ego perspective of form, I've just lost something. And my judgment might jump in and say, she doesn't actually like cooking for me. Not because she doesn't like cooking. No, it's me. She doesn't want to cook for me. You see the guilt and the sadness is going to set in very quickly here. On the other hand, let's say I was full of God. Let's say I was full of love. And she said, I'm not cooking tonight. is...
Oh,
It's okay.
It's okay, honey. I'll massage your feet.
What do you want now? If you're God, if you're tolerant, trusting, honest, patient, faithful, open-minded, gentle.
You want to extend love. You want to massage your feet.
Freedom.
You want freedom? What else do you want in the situation where she says she doesn't want to cook? What do you want?
Allowing.
Yeah.
You want allowing.
Yes.
Acceptance.
What?
Acceptance.
See if she needs anything. Yes.
What?
What else do you want? Now what do you? You're love. You're honest.
You just want to
you're
show
trusting.
up and you don't need anything.
Huh? You're tolerant. You're considerate. Yeah.
You don't need anything.
Yeah, you set her free, but you don't have any requirements.
You have no requests of
What do you want?
Huh?
What do you want now that you're just you're?
You don't want anything.
You just want to extend your love.
Can you do better than that? Can you do better than not wanting anything?
You can't do better than that one. If you
I
accept
don't know.
extending your love.
Can you?
I don't know.
Well, what are you? You're God, right?
I let her free. Do what she wants to do.
free her of guilt.
Better than that? Can you do better than that? Remember that.
Extend love.
Remember the beginning of the manual for teachers in this section. We'll talk about the attributes of teachers of God.
Trust? No?
Trust is absolutely involved.
Acceptance, allowance.
You want what she wants.
Which is?
Whatever she wants. You will find it with your content, not with your form.
You want
Yeah.
what she wants.
All right?
That's right.
You want what she wants now
Yeah.
is suddenly as important or even higher than what
What you want.
you want.
Yeah.
Because you recognize
Gee,
You don't need anything.
it's so much better
okay, you
to...
said something about this because
Yes.
I feel better
Yes.
about the whole situation, all right? Because I don't have to disturb her. I can let her be free, okay? And I feel much better about that.
It frees you.
Don't do anything on my behalf. Live your own life, your own moment.
Can you share with her, be with her, and discover, because of all your perspective, you know that in order for you to get love, you give love. As you give, you shall receive. And the great way is to show up for somebody who's calling for love, and that's when you give it. It's even better. It's even better. You'll have the love. She will have an answer. It won't be informed, folks. It may turn out to be informed. You may find out that all it is she just is so hot tonight she can't face being next to that stove. She loves to cook, but it's just too hot tonight.
What happened?
It could be that simple, but the goal is you were not defensive and you were not at a loss on your face.
There wasn't anything you needed from her.
You just want to know what she was feeling. I'm going to join with you. What's up? Let's do that. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll do it. Because, Andrew, it's being cool. That's what it is.
We're just going to have fruit.
We're going to have fruit down by the ocean and wait for the fog to come in. I'm going to give her that
Because
right
you didn't
now.
take anything personal.
Right now. That's going to make me happy. This is strength of God. Because we're sharing. We have these attributes that grow as you give them. It's the opposite of the special relationship of form, which diminishes as you lose it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's where we're going. That's the change of mind that we're going. Yeah,
That's our next step in relationships.
that is correct. That is correct.
So what do you do if somebody takes everything personal? Like, if you said something like, whatever, I just want to have food, or whatever you said,
Yeah.
the person takes it personally and thinks it's an attack on them.
Yeah.
Then how do you respond?
You join with them.
Call for love?
You join with them.
You're right, I'm attacking you.
You're going to join with them. Whatever you do, you're not going to defend yourself,
Yeah.
but you're going to show up and you're going to do what you can to take on these 10 attributes and join with them. Show up for them. They're calling for love. You have to get creative and give them love. They are obviously not feeling love. Okay, let's continue to finish this paragraph. We have about 4 minutes. Okay. Oh, this is amazing. Mm-hmm. Okay, now we're on the bottom of page 343. Yes. Okay. Special relationship must be recognized for what it is, a senseless ritual in which strength is extracted from the death of God. Now we got to feel for what God is. And invested in God's killer as a sign that, he's a little dramatic here, okay? He's a little dramatic. God's killer as a sign that form has triumphed over content and that love has lost its meaning. That's just the ego play of separation. You got to practice it to be good at it. That's all it is. Would you want this to be possible, even apart from the evident impossibility? If it were possible, you would have made yourself helpless. Now we're on page 344 at the top. Look, God is not angry. Now that's absurd to think. Now that we know what God is,
He's not angry.
Anger doesn't fit into that wonderful list of truth. No, God is not angry.
It actually says that. It's funny.
Yes. That's why he's using this word God
Yeah.
to help the separated mind, but you know what he means. It's silly. He merely could not let this happen. No. You can't find anger inside of honesty, trust, tolerance, gentleness, joy, defenselessness, open-mindedness, faithfulness. No, there's no room for anger in any of that. That's what God is, folks.
Can't
That's
change his mind, it says the next sentence.
There it is. You cannot change his mind. That's what his mind is. No rituals that you have set up in which the dance of death delights you. None of these can bring death to the eternal. Oh, thank God. Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Nor can your chosen substitute for the wholeness, look at that, capital W, wholeness. The wholeness of God have any influence at all upon the wholeness of God. Isn't that great?
Nor can your chosen substitute
Which is your partner.
have any influence
At all upon it.
Yes.
The chosen substitute is your partner in crime.
Form.
In the relationship.
Yeah, form, touch, relationship, the illusions of love.
So are we
Yeah.
setting ourselves up to be a victim, or we're setting ourselves up to believe in a special relationship?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, you're defining how it is you're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My sister really has it.
This is a guarantee, right? It's a guarantee. It's not if, it's when.
Yeah, it's a guarantee. You're making a list
Defining how
of how you're going to get hurt. See, that's what happens when you have the conditional, the judgments Mai was talking about. You get a list of things that make it good. That's the exact same list that's going to make it bad if they're not all performed. Yeah, I tell you, much better to move up into the flexibility of gentleness, tolerance, patience, faithfulness. Somebody putting another person's interests equal or above your own. It's so good. It feels so good. It pays back.
It's good when you give, too, right?
Yeah, that's when you receive. Yeah. So we close the meeting with a little circle. And,
But that broke through a lot of collisions there.
That was really good.
Thank you. Hey.
Yeah.
That was really great. That was really great. Oh boy. Yes. We can do it.
yes, we can. In a moment, you're going to take a breath in. I don't know when. A few seconds. Maybe you're going to steal it off right now before you have to wait for something I'm going to say. But then you'll breathe in again a moment later. On one of these in-breaths. On one of these in-breaths, I want you to envision that little girl Dick was talking about.
Yeah.
Dancing and twirling. And let that be you, because it is, if you can think of it, you are that for that moment. The thoughts that you hold are your reality for that moment. Let it be that little girl who's just dancing, just because she can. Twirling, and her hair is floating, and she's giggling, and she's getting a little dizzy. It's so fun. And the music, she is free. Because she's not trying to do anything other than dance. It's just that simple. Let you be as free as that child for the rest of your life. Amen.
Oh, thank you for that patience. Thank you. What a wonderful evening.
Imagine what you're doing with
Norway.
See you soon again.
Yeah.
I was curious. Mike told me